Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to episode 93 of the Prosperous Yogini Podcast. Okay, so before I head on into today's episode 93, I'm heading towards my 2-year anniversary in June, and I'm about 7,500 downloads in. I would really love, just as a vanity metric more than anything else, but I also to spread some love because this podcast is epic, as you know. I would really love to reach the milestone of 10,000 downloads by my 2-year birthday anniversary, which will be towards the end of June. And there is a podcast party already in the making. So huge favor for you guys, my regular listeners. I'm so deeply grateful to you guys. I know lots of you have been with me from the beginning. Please, 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 can you just share the podcast a little bit more? Leave a review. That helps. I mean, there's an algorithm everywhere and anywhere, so if you can leave a review, that really helps in terms of the algorithm. And if you just know anybody, they do not just have to be a yoga teacher, probably female, but there may be some male listeners that enjoy this podcast, female entrepreneur, service-based entrepreneur, or you've just got this friend that keeps going on about this business she wants to start and hasn't yet taken action. Please just direct them to my podcast. I'll be so grateful. Like I'm sure those of you that are in business and running your own businesses, organic reach is just simply a long game of persistent, consistent action in the direction of your dreams. And when I say organic reach, it is that reaching people organically without using paid advertising. But one of the things I advise everyone that I work with is to use your super fans, use those people that love your work and love working with you to help you spread the love. And that really is what I'm asking for you guys to do. And I'll be doing this every time I remember between now and June, because I'd love to get to that 10,000 downloads. And I just love more people to benefit from this thing I do for free every week. So on to today's episode. Episode 93 is how to start something new. And this is very relevant to me in my business. As you know, I really just am so honest and upfront with you guys about my business and things that I've got right and things that I've done wrong and where I am and what I'm working on. And I really hope that sort of like drawing back the curtains, the behind the scenes stuff really helps you, because I think what we often can sometimes see on social media, on people's websites, is like, the glossy image, or when someone's like, reached 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever, we just see that destination, the end game that they're at. We don't see the process that they've been through. And I really hope that by me pulling back the curtains, pulling back behind the scenes of being female, service-based entrepreneur, self-employed, currently still a sole trader. Another episode on that. That's another topic for another day. Sole trader versus limited company. That's coming up in my life, so I'm sure I'll share that with you. Anyway, sole trader, solo entrepreneur is largely just me in my business, and I just know what it takes and how hard it can be and how brilliant it can be to be self-employed, to be sole trader, to be your own boss, to create a way of working and living that works for you. And I'm just here, I'm here for it. I'm here to support you guys to create whatever it is you're calling in to create. And this is kind of where I've been like in the last 12 months. And I know I've spoken to it a bit on the podcast before, but 14 years as a yoga teacher. Prior to that, I was 12 plus years in education. So I've had, 2 very distinct careers already. And in the last sort of like 12 months, where I've been really working with yoga teachers in the business side of things, that business mentoring side of things, and putting that out there a lot, there's absolutely, and there's many of these podcast episodes are pretty relevant to just yoga teachers, but there are probably equal number, if not more, podcast episodes that are relevant to all service-based entrepreneurs or female service-based entrepreneurs. And when energy is everything, and when you start to put this energy out there, then you attract This is the whole idea, which you're a vibe attracts your tribe. Yeah, this is manifestation. What I put out there, in terms of the energy, is what I call in and what I attract. Okay. Although I do not, sometimes, like, I will just say this hand on heart, sometimes just some shit happens, sometimes some bad stuff happens, and it's an external event. This is what it is to be human. All right. Okay. But in terms of, like, what I want to create, who I want to work with, the type of people I want to work with, the type of business I want to have, all of that creation comes from the energy that you put out. So obviously I've been putting out lots of advice, tips on basically how you can do it, how you can share your gifts with the world and make money. And in that, I've been actually drawn into like an eye-opener into what it is to be female, how hard it is to be female and in business, how hard it is to be female and attract money. And you can hear in my voice that I'm pretty not angry, but I'm pretty passionate about doing something about this. I actually just really truly believe that one of the reasons why I am doing what I'm doing, why I'm being led down perhaps a new path, or a new branch, better put, is because I just know in my heart, it's just a knowing, that one of the ways that we're going to turn the ship around in terms of creating a world that in a vision that we want to see, where there is room for us all, where war is unimaginable, where poverty just isn't a thing. And I actually just really hold on to this deep healing that is possible, both in terms of the earth and humanity, that my little corner of the universe, my little corners of realities, if I can scoop up as many women as possible and give them the confidence that they can do this, whatever it is they've been called to do, to share their gifts to the world and heal the many dimensional layers of crap that is on us when it comes to doing that and attracting money into our lives, I know that anyone I can help is going to be part of my role in making the world a better place. So starting a new thing, this episode is, if you're like, well, I've just qualified, I'm just about, doing one thing, just qualified as a yoga teacher, I'm just teaching one class a week, I'm not ready to start anything new. Or, I'm just launched my whatever your business is, I've just launched this one offer, this one service, I'm not ready to start anything new. I'm going to say this episode is still for you. I'm going to say this episode is for everyone and anyone who's in a position, right? Maybe you've started nothing yet, but you are working, you're employed, and deep in your heart, deep in your soul, you just have this ongoing niggle that you're being called to do something else. But it is so deeply unrelated to what you're doing now that if you went out and told everyone, they think you are crazy, right? Okay, this episode's for you. If you are pretty established in your business and you have got quite a clear persona and a clear external persona as to who you are and what you do, yet you are being called to bring something new into your offer suite, bring something new into your business, and maybe it is related or maybe it isn't related, this episode's for you, because this is 100% where I have been. And I'm very, very excited to say that I've taken those first steps, and there's an invitation for you guys today. I've taken those first steps into planting this new seed, growing this new branch, exploring this new path. Okay, so here's the backstory. 14 years as a yoga teacher. I'm very, very established teacher. I am Amy Yoga to the point where I really sometimes think I should change my name by default to not Amy Jones, but Amy Yoga. Very attached to the name Amy Yoga, very attached to the brand. I got amyyoga.com domain when nobody was buying email domains. Probably, oh my God, when was it? 2009 was when I bought that amyyoga.com domain. It is 2024, right? That's how long I've had that domain name. Whoa, that is a bit scary, eh? I've had my domain name for 15 years. God, I hadn't even thought about that until I started doing this episode today. So very, very, me personally, very, very attached to the persona of yoga teacher, yoga trainer, amyyoga.com. And I love my job as a yoga teacher. I love teaching yoga, sharing the light that is yoga, all the training that I do. I mean, it just completely lights me up. My mentorship program, I'm just going to just have a little bit whoop, whoop, whoop on this one. My mentorship program for yoga teachers is what the industry needs. And I really hope there are yoga teachers right now with the same sort of like level of experience as I've got, who are looking at my mentorship program thinking I could do that. Because I really do think that we need to move to a place in the yoga industry where mentorship is just industry standard. Like in education, ongoing support and mentorship is standard. In many therapeutic roles like psychotherapy, for example, mentorship, having support is just industry standard. And it is madness. It's madness that in the industry, in the work that we do as yoga teachers, that it is just not standard practice that some or even all of the time we have some form of mentorship. Okay, that is beyond just doing more teacher training courses. The doors to my mentorship program, which is specifically for yoga teachers at all stages in business, helping with you both those hats that you wear, teaching and running your business. The doors open 22nd of April to the 30th of April. I strongly invite you to come in. This mentorship program, I mean, it's one, I love everything I do. Massive generator. I love everything I do, but this mentorship program just deep from my heart, deep from my soul. And it's wonderful what it is. It's just like the community in there, the results that I'm getting in terms of people just feeling more confident in their teaching, improving their teaching, which improves their retention in terms of their classes, but just building businesses that they couldn't even imagine, yeah, at all levels and all stages, right? Please add your name to the wait list. I'll put that in the show notes. Doors open the 22nd of April. And if you have a look at the sales page and just scroll down to the price and then scroll down a little bit further, I'll show you how it's an absolute no-brainer investment, how actually you can quite easily make your money back on this investment. But it's not about making your money back on your investment. It's about the energy and impact of being on my mentorship program. Now, obviously, a lot of the work I do in this mentorship program around mindset, around money mindset, around nervous system regulation, because I really truly believe that actually what comes first is energy, cleaning up our energy, balancing, regulating our energy, and nervous system regulation, but the energy, the human body is an unseen energy, but energy comes first. Then once we start to work with the energy, we can move into the mind, and we're not overcoming the mind, right? We are navigating the mind. Mindset work is navigation with compassion. We are human beings, right? We are always going to doubt ourselves at times. We are always going to fear rejection. We are always going to live with a level of imposter syndrome. Okay. 14 years in, I tell you, it doesn't go away. The only thing that shifts, right, is you learn to navigate it more. And every time you do something new, you will butt up against all of it. You're not ready for it. Yeah. Why are you doing that? People are going to think you're weird. People are going to think if you do this, you're no longer interested in that. You're not good enough. You're not experienced enough. These are all the words that have been voices that have been coming up in my head in the last 12 months while I've been thinking about this new thing that I've been strongly calling to do. So the challenge I think we have when we've got such a strong persona, I'm Amy Yoga, and I teach yoga and I train yoga teachers and I work with yoga teachers to create profitable, sustainable, impactful yoga businesses. That's pretty clear messaging, right? That's my niche. Amy Yoga is my niche. And we're so drilled down, you must niche down, right? And I do think actually for some people and some businesses, niching works, right? But for me, the way my brain is, my generator tendencies, I literally could wake up every day and start a new business or come up with a new idea. And I've had to work really, really carefully around this because I am definitely one of those persons that can start something, get really, really excited, invest loads of time and energy into it, and then poof, something else grabs my attention. And this thing that I've created is brilliant, but I'm turning my attention away from it. So I've learned to sit with ideas, sit with new callings and let them percolate to check it's the right thing. So for about 12 months now, I've had this really strong calling to help beyond the realm of yoga teachers with energy, navigating the mind, money mindset, and just really helping Probably women, but men and men, all genders, anyone who just energetically vibes with me is welcome, right? All human beings, right? But I just want to help people come to a place where they are doing what lights them up, leaning into what they love. There's the confidence to do that, even if it's like very radical from what they were brought up and expected to do, from what they're currently doing now, and make money. I just know more human beings in that state where we are following the calling of the heart, following the soul purpose, actually trusting the guidance from the source, universe, universal intelligence, whatever you want to call it, trusting our gut instinct and following that and letting that lead, despite all the doubts that may pop up, or the barriers that may be in our way. That for me is what I'd also love to do, and I am doing. And so how first of all do I start something new when I'm like, whoa, I do not want people. So the first thing when I'm getting this calling, right, I want to help beyond yoga teachers, and I've got some ideas for X, Y, and Z. The first thing that I butted up against was, wow, I don't want people to think that I'm not Amy Yoga anymore, because I'm still very much Amy Yoga. That ain't going anywhere. I love this aspect of my job. I love this, but I've got room and I'm being called to do something else, to bring something else in. So the first thing was utter fear that people be like, oh, is she not Amy Yoga anymore? Does she not want to do that anymore? Oh, I thought she was a yoga teacher. Yeah. So that's the first thing. The second fear, obviously, that comes in is like, well, who am I? Who am I to do this? Like, I'm very confident at helping yoga teachers, but who am I to do this? Classic imposter syndrome. And I've definitely been waking up the last sort of 12 months to like all my years of experience in education, like all the things I did as that secondary school music teacher, when I was head of faculty, when I was running large events, large concerts, when I was taking children to trips abroad, when I was leading teams of people, leading training, standing in front of 1,000 people at the Hall for Cornwall, conducting a performance. Like, it's like, God, I've just done so much. And then you think, as a yoga teacher, oh, I'm just a yoga teacher. Think of all the things that us solo entrepreneurs do. We wear all the hats in our business, and it takes a large degree of discipline to do that. And I was like, gosh, I've got all these skills, and I don't think I'm utilizing them all, and I'm certainly not talking about them all. And then little things happen. So you have those wobbles. You worry that people are going to think you're crazy. So let's take it that you are employed, you've got this job, whatever it is, but you're being called to do something else. And it's like, God, if I told people about this, they think I was crazy, because this is absolutely nothing to do with what I'm doing now. So of course we worry about what people think. Of course we worry that our boss might get wind and think, oh, are they off? I thought they were an accountant. Here she is running Reiki sessions. I joke, but I'm sure that will resonate with some of you. That fear of people thinking what they're going to think of us. And it's such a genuine, strong fear. And then, so you got the fear, you've then got the layer of, well, who am I to do this? This is not what I've been. This has not been the persona that I've built up around myself. And then the universe will start to nudge you. And she nudges in two ways. The way I love is signs, right? So definitely, it doesn't really matter where I go. This happens to me all the time, right? I'm pretty good at talking. Have you spotted? I will talk to anyone and everyone. I love human beings. I love talking, right? And what I find, it just doesn't matter where I go, who I end up talking to. I'll end up doing some sort of mentoring. Now somehow we'll end up into a conversation about like either where they are in their business and what they can do next, or I've got this idea, how do you think I can bring it to life? And I'm like, these aren't yoga teachers. People have been sliding into my DMs on Instagram, coming to me on email, physically chatting to me in person. And I got to this point where I was like, Like it, I am being sent by the universe, people who aren't yoga teachers, and I'm able to help them. I was like, okay, there's a sign, right? So that's one of the signs. The other sign is that the universe will send you, and this is actually sort of like an important sub theme today, is she'll trigger you, for want of a better word. So what I mean by that is I was starting to notice a few people online, like coaches, whatever, whatever you want to call them. I've done a bit of training, some of it paid, some of it free, signing up to people's freebies and getting on their email list. And I was just having this continual response, and it goes along like this. Well, if they're doing that, why aren't I? And wait a minute. I've been teaching and understanding breath work and working with the breath now for over 14 years. A minute. Education. I've been in education for 24 years. Like, what? They're doing that and not me. Now, this is so important. When you have that, and it's a moment, that's the only way I can describe it, where you look to someone and you have that, well, who are they? Either who are they to do that? I'm more experienced than them. I reckon I do that better than they do. Okay. Or why, hang on a minute, if they're doing that, why aren't I? I'm more qualified than they are. I've got the same experience and qualifications as that. I want you to, this is a stop hammer time moment. This is really is a stop hammer time moment. Stop projecting your shit onto other people. Okay. I am talking to myself. That person, okay, is brilliant at what they're doing. That person is leading the way for you. That person, okay, absolutely is and has all the experience and knowledge to serve their tribe, right? Okay. If you want to do what that person is doing, stop scrolling, stop getting angry at them, take some action. All that feeling is you meeting that contrast, that conflict within yourself, within your higher self, that's been saying, look, I really think you should do this. I really think you're ready to do this. I really think you'd be brilliant at this. And you've been like, no, 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 no. Okay. And now the universe is sending you, well, they're doing it, and they're doing it, and they're doing it, and they're doing it. And it's not about you being better than them. It's not about you being more experienced than them. It's not about you, well, if I did it, I'd do it better than that. It's none of that. There is absolutely room for us all. Okay. When you see someone that gives you that feeling, I want you to send them a whole load of love, thank them, deep gratitude, because they're going to inspire you to do some action. I want you to, as long as they don't trigger you too much, follow them on Instagram, go on their email, support them, because they are going to support you in doing what you've got to do. Okay. So I hit that point where the pain of not doing or offering my new branch was greater than the pain of just staying behind the wall of I'm Amy Yoga. Okay. And it was getting ridiculous. It was like, I'm Amy Yoga. Oh, but I can't. Yeah, I can help you with that. Like, it was getting ridiculous. So how did I get past all of those fears, all of those concerns that people would think I'm not Amy Yoga anymore? My messaging would get diluted. Well, I have given myself some time, and I've learned this is really important. Notice the feelings that are rising, notice what's coming up and calling you, notice the ideas that are coming in, and start writing stuff down. Okay. I also would recommend that you don't figure it out alone. I work with two brilliant coaches, Ruth Gilby and Lucy Sheridan, and they're both are people that I can turn to for support and for guidance on this, because navigating your own shit is virtually impossible. Okay. You always need someone cheerleading you and guiding you along. I'd love that to be me, by the way. Yoga teachers, waitlist for mentorship program, the rest of you, hang on, it's coming. And you've got to give it some time. So I definitely last 6 to 12 months, several notebooks, write my ideas down, starting to talk to people, starting to have those conversations behind closed doors, starting to tell people. Like, the first person I told was actually Lucy Sheridan. Before I signed up to work on a new era mastermind, part of it was, Lucy, got this massive calling, help. It literally went along those lines, and it felt a big thing to tell someone, whoever it was. And I've certainly given it time. So I've listened to the inner voice. I've paid attention to what I am attracting, what new things are coming my way, what things I'm getting triggered, annoyed by. Okay. And what that annoyance actually means for me, not deflecting it onto someone else. I've given myself lots of time to, and this is a real balance, because I think we can get really stuck in the waiting game. Okay. But we can also pull the trigger too quick. Okay. And to be honest, like, who knows when it's right to pull the trigger, and who knows when it's right to wait. But don't pull the trigger immediately is my advice, but don't wait forever is my second bit of advice. So I've given it time. Okay. And then got to that point where I was like, I'm just gonna do something. And always when it's like, what is the next best step? Okay, what is my next available step? Because I absolutely, in the pipeline is callings for an online course, 6-week type program thing, a massive callings for some in person. I want to take the model of like the coaching call, the training that, like the coaching training that I do in the mentorship program. I really want to take that model into an in-person model. Okay. There's absolutely callings for some VIP retreat business days and weekends. This is all the stuff that is written down several times, keeps coming up. So then I'm like, yeah, this is the thing, right? But you know what? An online course, a VIP business retreat day, they're quite big things, right? Okay, they are things that are already done in the pipeline happening. But if I was to say, right, they're going to be the first things I do, then I could spend a lot of time waiting. So I keep working back. What's my next best step? Okay, so coming up in the next few weeks, I am going to be offering some in-person sort of like coaching. It's called an Ideas to Action workshop. They're going to be in person. So if you live in Cornwall or near Cornwall, great. If not, I will, of course, test the model online, right? Okay, absolutely. But I'm going to actually test the model in person first. Just that calling to do things differently, just a call, and not different because what I'm doing right now is wrong. Like, one of the biggest advice I take to my yoga students is break a norm, mix up the movement, do things differently. Don't always do the same thing. Okay. Yes, some familiarity is good, but we can get stuck in our ways. But before I even put out those workshops, those Ideas to Action workshops, I was like, well, you know what do I tell everyone? You need an audience. You need an audience that you communicate with, that you build community, you build connection. And I have an audience, like I have a mailing list. They're not all yoga teachers, but they're predominantly yoga teachers. Obviously, I have an audience in the podcast. They are not all yoga teachers, but they're predominantly yoga teachers. I have an audience on Instagram. They are, again, predominantly interested in yoga, but interestingly, I think the Instagram audience is slightly broader. Controversial for Instagram, I know, but it's working for me. But I was like, I need to find a way of gathering this new tribe. And instead of me saying, and I've been, honestly, guys, I've been like, oh, it's a new business. New business. I've been all, and I was like, definitely went down the route of like, if you know, I have several times a year have a Kajabi fantasy. If you don't know what Kajabi is, so just ignore this moment of the podcast. But if you do know what Kajabi is, you might sympathize with me. Kajabi is probably the best all-in-one online course platform, email marketing, website builder. I love Kajabi. And if I could go back to I don't know, actually, I was going to say, if I could go back to 2020, instead of hooking up with Teachable, would have hooked up with Kajabi. I don't know, because I love Teachable. I love what I've created on Teachable, and my systems all work. It's just Kajabi is just all in one place. Plus it looks pretty. What it is. So definitely spent probably a day having a Kajabi fantasy on this one. And in the end, I was like, stop. Okay. Make it simple, make it cheap, make it free. So I'll put the link in here. I've been hanging out on LinkedIn. And in LinkedIn, I don't pretend I'm not a yoga trainer teacher. I don't pretend I'm not a mentor for yoga teachers. But I've definitely the messaging on LinkedIn is business and energy mentor. working with female service-based entrepreneurs. So I've used LinkedIn to practice. And this is what I did, guys. I was like, where am I not on? What platform am I not on that, I can go and practice being this new persona? And instead of it being a new persona, just growing a new branch that, I'm Amy Jones, and part of Amy Jones is Amy Yoga. And I train yoga teachers and I mentor them in their business and teaching. Very clear. Amy Jones also helps female service-based entrepreneurs, right? And where can I go and practice that messaging? So I went to LinkedIn. I'd already kind of been on the platform, but hadn't really used it. And really kind of just upped my game on LinkedIn. Started to build my audience on there. And then the big news to conclude today, which is a massive invitation for you guys, is I've opted to use a platform called Substack to build my new community. Now, I had so many choices with this. I could have created a subgroup on my email list and invited everyone to join that subgroup on my email list. I used the brilliant community course platform called Circle. I could have got everyone to join a Circle space and created it. The challenge I had with both of those things is with the email marketing. Well, the email goes into the inbox. Great. I love email marketing, but once it's gone into the inbox, if you want to visit that email, you have to keep it. You have to go back for it. The challenge with Circle is a brilliant community platform. I love it so much more than the noise of Facebook. I'm awful on closed Facebook groups, which is why I use Circle in all of my programs that include community. But it doesn't necessarily go into people's inbox. It requires people to go onto the Circle community either on their browser or have the app. Some, people can opt to have it as an email, but they can also opt out. And I want this to be going into people's email box. So Substack was this absolute no-brainer for me. So if you don't have email marketing and you've been listening to the episodes with email marketing, I would really love you to consider Substack. If you write a lot of blogs and you love writing, I really do encourage you to use Substack. I'm not the best writer in the world, but I tell you what, I can stick a camera in front of my face and talk for Brim. And the other thing you can do for Substack is, instead of treating it like a blog posting platform, you can treat it like a vlog posting platform. And that's what drew me to it. So it's email marketing. The post on Substack goes into people's inbox, but people can also head on to my Substack community, Energy, Mindset, Money and More community on Substack, and they can see all the previous posts. And the reason why I want people to see the previous posts is because I am once a week on my Substack community gifting a 5-minute video on 5 to 10 minute video. I literally set an egg timer, guys, because you know how bad I am at keeping to timings. A 5 to 10 minute video on something connected with energy, something connected on mindset, and something connected on money. The whole idea is it's short and actionable, and these short actionable steps will guide you to that place where you're doing what lights you up and makes money. It's completely free. I've been able to set up on Substack completely free. What actually delayed me a little bit, because I wanted, as you know, if you listened to last week's episode, I wanted to tell you all about it this time last week. But I had initially envisaged it to be free. I was just going to do it as free. But for me to send is a bit of a technical thing. There, when you sign up to my Substack, I gift you're sent a welcome email, which is also send you to my 90-minute Soulful Art of Money Making masterclass. And for me to get it set up, so if someone joins for free, they get pinged that welcome email. I also have to invite paid subscribers. So I was like, okay. Ooh, I hadn't thought about this. And it gave me a bit of a wobble for about 24, 48 hours. And then, you know how the sites, Substack sent me an email about Lenny's newsletter on Substack. And Lenny has a Substack community newsletter thing, and he makes £1 million in revenue from his Substack. And I was like, oh, well, hang on a minute. Yes, I can gift this for free, but I can also invite people to pay. Energy, mindset, money, and more. This is all about the energy exchange. This is all about our money mindset. This is all about the energy money, the exchange of money. So I'll put the link in the show notes. It is energy, mindset, money, and more, substack.com. I can't quite remember. I have got my own domain name, but I've not managed to get them hooked up yet. So anyway, And when you subscribe, you can subscribe for free. So you put your email in, okay, and you'll go through to a page that says join for free or join for £4.40 a month or £44 a year. Buy me monthly coffee and cake. Be part of the energy exchange. I am going to be gifting my free subscriber, my paid subscribers, the odd little extra as well as a thank you. So it is worth paying. And when you join, first of all, you get pinged the welcome email where you'll see that 90 minutes of art of making money masterclass. Then you can access the previous posts. And this week on Substack, I did a 5-minute video on Instagram biohacks. It's so I love the video because I know on the podcast it's largely an auditory thing, and I know you can come and check me out on YouTube, and I have done episodes on social media, but what I'm able to do on Substack with my videos is actually screen share and show you on Substack. I'll show you on Instagram what I'm talking about, and it's literally 5 minutes of Instagram bio magic. This is the whole idea, that every week, every Tuesday, there's going to be a new Substack post, new Substack newsletter, and I will be delivering you 5 to 10 minutes of gold dust actionable information. Next week, it is 1 restorative yoga pose a day to keep the nervous system wobbles away. And to be honest, I would do the restorative yoga pose, get cleaning my energy, and then head over to my Instagram bio and work on that for 5 minutes, following my advice. This is where energy is going to lead action. This is the dance between masculine and feminine. We get clear in our feminine energy. We connect to the intuition, our inner guidance. We then take that and take the action. And I know it can feel like, oh, I'm being asked to do more. I've got all this stuff I've got to do. What you have to understand is this will actually result in you having more time, more energy, because instead of giving your energy and time away to stuff that you're not meant to be doing, you'll use your feminine energy to guide you into aligned action. And it means you'll take smart, actionable, masculine energy action that will lead more readily to the results that you want. It will save you time and money. It will bring your energy back into alignment. This is how passionate I am. This is how all of us should operate when we're in business. And I kind of have to do this because I'm just seeing a rise in breathwork, transformational breathwork facilitators. Great. But lots of sort of noise around that. I'm seeing a rise in people saying mindset work isn't the stuff you need to do. And that's not true. If you know anything about the human body, and yoga teachers know about the human body, you know it is one interconnected system. You have to work with the seen and the unseen. You have to work with the energy, and the energy is the unseen. Pam Gregory said it was 90% unseen. Okay, Patanjali, we know from Patanjali sutras that the noise and the mind stuff, the chitta vritti, of course it matters. It's what it is to be human, right? What the problem is with mind stuff work, if the energy is saying no, if the nervous system is saying no, or the mind stuff work in the world will never yield you to the results that you want. Okay, and all of this energy and mindset work will help us to take the aligned action that we want, and in that aligned action attract the money that we desire, so we can do what lights us up and makes money. And this is what's going to make the world a better place. Okay, this is it, right? Sorry, hang on, I'm tapping the desk there. I was getting overexcited. Listen, I hope you can hear my voice, how passionate it is. The link to join my Substack community is in the show notes. It's going to be in the show notes every week. Please come. Look, free members are really welcome. Please join for free. Please consider being a paid member. £4.40 a month. Buy me a coffee and cake. I am chasing down Lenny. Giving myself a 4-year target to chase down Lenny. I mean, why not, right? And please do just check out Substack for your own use, particularly if you don't have email marketing. It's free, and it was so easy to set up. I mean, I did spend a few hours with a YouTube video, but once it's up, it's working and up. Please consider Substack if you do a lot of writing, or you are sharing a lot of stuff, and maybe, whether it be videos, written word, and consider, you don't have to put all of it behind a paywall. You can put some of it behind a paywall. And it's a great way to invite people into free, give them something, and then invite them to pay to get a little bit more. I really love Substack, and I think we're moving, like, social media is not dead. No way. I mean, there's so many users on Instagram and Facebook, and I love Instagram. I'm so grateful to these free platforms, but they are incredibly noisy, busy places. People are getting very tired, very burnt out on them. And I think we're going to see a rise of small, private community spaces. And I think Substack for me is one of the best out there, completely free. You can start tomorrow. Okay, my darling. So that's how you grow a new branch. You work with the noise in the mind stuff that says no. You tap into the hollering of the heart. You notice the signs from the universe, those people coming to you and asking you to do this work, or those people triggering you that are already doing the stuff that you want to do. You give yourself a little bit of time to process all of this newness and to think what it might look like. You then take action, not from the final step. Okay, it's like, okay, I want to go on holiday to Australia, and unless I can arrive in Australia now, I'm not going, right? Okay, none of that. You think about what the end might look like, because it might change, it might shift, and you work back from the end in mind, and you take the next available step to you. And Substack for me was that next available step. It was a way of me saying, and look, just, also just have a bit of humility, a bit of honesty. And I've been like that. Listen, this is what I do. I'm Amy Yoga. I know, right? I know that's how you know me. But by the way, I've had this huge calling to offer this new branch. It's not that Amy Yoga's going anywhere. It's not that I'm giving up my job tomorrow for those of you employed. It's not that my existing products, my existing services are stopping, right? But it's like a menu. Here's the menu. We've added in a specials, right? If you went to, this is the worst analogy in the world, but I'm just going to go for it. If you went to McDonald's and they had a new burger, you wouldn't think, they're diluting their messaging, right? But it's the same here, right? Add in this new service, whatever it is you're being called to, after you've given it the time to grow and percolate. It's like that seed, okay? Because they'll hit this point where you're like, if I don't do this, I'm just going to continue to get angry when everyone else is doing what I want to do, right? Put your gifts out into the world. Don't worry what other people think, because actually what you assume people are thinking is just really unlikely, because we're all basically stuck in our own little worlds. Please join my Substack community. It is for all female and men. It's for all service-based entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs. All of you just are really who are interested in working with the energy of the body, having some smart, actionable business action. So we're going to dance with the masculine and feminine. I'm aiming to alternate each week. It's every Tuesday. So now you've got me twice a week, guys. You've got the podcast that comes out at the weekend. I send it to my husband on Friday. I know he normally gets it live by Sunday. This is something really rude then. And then and I'm blushing. I nearly said I know he normally gets it up by Sunday. That would have been really wrong, right? My husband edits my podcast. I send it to him on Friday. I'm blushing if you're watching on YouTube. I send it to him on Friday. He normally gets it live by Sunday. So the podcast comes out every weekend. And now you can have 5 minutes of video joy with me on a Tuesday as part of my Substack community. And I'm just going to say, watch this space. Watch this space, eh? This is exciting. All right, my darlings. I'll just see you all next week. What is it for episode 94? See you next week.